Yorkie the Barbarian here. Last of the Brigantes of Brigantia. Taking it back to Golarion. I think we might have met the last of the Sarkorians, though I'm not sure where he is right now. We've rescued the storyteller and a bunch of magic knights from the Blackwing Library, where cultists were about to burn them. Let's have a word with them, shall we? And also Ember and Nenio. Let's talk to Ember first. The elf in front of you is young, still an adolescent by the standards of their long-lived folk. A childish, carefree smile plays on her face, and her wandering eyes linger on you for just a moment before darting off again into the distance. Terrible scars cover her body, and a few of her fingers are missing. A crow sits on her shoulder, observing you with its clever black eyes. Tell me about yourself. Well, they call me Ember. I used to live in the River City, and now I walk with you. That's my story. Why do they call you Ember, though? I've had many names. When I was little, my mum and dad used to call me Dove or Cricket or Kitten. Dad called me his Ray of Sunshine. And when my mum was cross, she called me by a long name, a grown-up one. I can't remember it no matter how hard. I bet she did. I bet she did. Most of our mums have had a choice word or two for us, haven't they? Then when I came to live in the River City, the good people called me by different funny names, like Ember or Torch or Smoky. I don't know why. They called me Bird Brain because I have a crow. That might not be the reason, Ember. They called me Lucky Seven because of my fingers. He raised the hands. The middle finger on the right hand and the two smaller fingers on the left are missing. They sometimes called me Grilled Meat and said I was stupid. But I didn't feel hurt. I mean, they're right. I am silly. Really. I didn't mean to hurt me. I think they might have done, Ember. I like Ember. It's a good word. Embers are like people. On the outside, they're grey and cold, like stones. But they're warm inside. You can blow on them, and they'll start a fire to help you survive a cold night. That's wonderful, isn't it? Ember it is. I think you've taken an insult and turned it into a positive. Well done. Where are you from? Far away, from the flower country. The girl gestures vaguely off into the distance. It's so beautiful there. Everywhere there's flowers blooming, golden towers and waterfalls. And everyone is like me with pointy ears. There's no round-eared people, no short ones, no horned heads. We lived there together, me and Mum and Dad. Mum and Dad argued a lot. Dad used to say that all the good people should go to the crusade and fight the demons. And Mum said he was silly because it was so far away and none of our business. And that he shouldn't abandon his child. She meant me. But he didn't abandon me, he took me along. He said I was born the same year that the hole to the demon world opened. He said it was a sign I would be one of the heroes who close it. Of course, I'm not the hero, but I'm here anyway, helping as much as I can. I have a feeling, Ember, that true heroes deny they are. Where did you get your scars? It happened by accident. My dad and I came sailing down the river to join the crusade. Dad said that all the good people were going to the world wound to heal it. He said that the Crusaders were the best people in the world, and together we were going to win. But when we arrived at River City, I assumed that is Canabres. Yeah. The Crusaders got everything mixed up. They thought my dad and I were bad and decided to burn us at the stake. That's not what we call an accident, Ember. That's what we call stupid, and homicidal, and psychopathic. Dad died, and I cried so loudly that one of the knights realised it was all a big mistake. He started yelling at the other Crusaders, even the one in charge, and then walked right into the fire and got me out. The others wanted to stop him, but he took his sword and scared them away. The kind knight took me to a healer. I later learned that while the knight was pulling me from the flames, he himself was burned too badly, but he died not long after. But I'm still alive. A few fingers missing, and my skin is funny. I've lived in River City ever since. I never had my own house, but I had many friends. And then the demons came and I met you. And you know what happened after that. It's really so easy for you to forgive them. Not sure I could be so merciful. No one can say how much good or evil they have in them. No one can say a scenes of their own soul. Ember smiles and tilts her head. Her inquisitive look wanders over your face as if she's trying to look into your soul. No one knows until it's time to check. Ember, you go from the most imbecilic to the most wise thoughts in the flick of an eye, flick of a switch. Do you worship any deity? The girl shakes her head with an unwavering smile. Dad taught me to pray to Amade. He said she was a kind goddess and she called people to crusade against evil. The knights who burned my dad and me worshipped her too. They even lit the the fire with a prayer to her. And she did nothing to help us. But then one kind knight came along, without any gods, changed his mind and saved me. I think the gods are the same as us. They don't understand anything, and they're scared of everything. So they hurt themselves and the rest of us. People worship the gods only because they're afraid of being responsible for themselves. And the gods listen to their praise and they become smug and arrogant, and begin to believe that they're better than us. But they know better. They're just silly sinners, just like the rest of us. Sometimes I pray to the gods, different ones. The good ones, the bad ones. I ask them to stop fighting and hurting each other. I don't know if they ever hear me, but if they do, I mean, the knight who wanted to burn me, he was able to change his mind and do a good deed. If he can change, maybe Baphomet can too. I think there might be a world of difference there. How did you survive on the streets? The elf shrugs. There are many good people in the River City. When I sang for them in the street, they'd often give me coins or bread, or sometimes even clothes. I shared everything with the other homeless, and they showed me where it's safe to sleep, where I could get out of the rain and cold, and where I could find discarded things. You bring out the best in everyone, don't you, Ember? When the demons destroyed River City, I looked for my friends and found no one. They probably all died. The homeless have no supplies or weapons or basements to hide in, and the knights won't protect them either. Knights are like gods, so self-important. They're saving the world after all. What do they care about the homeless? Still smiling, the girl shrugs. Where do your magical powers come from? These tricks. I have them from my grandma. She used to be my father's grandma before that his father's. I've never seen her myself, but she's very clever and kind. When I lived on the street, sometimes she left food for me, or a blanket in the winter. Sometimes I feel her stroking my hair as I fall asleep. If I open my eyes, there's no one there. She also sent soot. She scratches her crow's beak, and the bird grumbles happily in response. She tells Soot how to do different tricks, and Soot teaches me. It appears that Ember doesn't know who exactly gives her these powers, but you can guess from words that her patron is Andaletta, a powerful Archon, one of the Imperial Lords, also known as Grandmother Crow. Hence, you're familiar, of course. Thank you for your answers. Oh, not at all. I didn't really tell you anything. You're always so cheerful. How do you manage to remain so hopeful when we're surrounded by such horror? Hope? He tilts her head and continues with a smile. Oh no, hope is a lie. What should we hope for? This world is in the hands of demons. The gods can't help, or they don't want to. Or they forgot about us altogether. The people know they're about to be eaten by demons, but they still quarrel with each other and fight and steal. There's no hope, only us. That's a despondent outlook. We'll have to win without hope. It will be hard. The entire abyss is against us. We can only win by some miracle, which means we'll have to make one happen. Okay, you've got faith in yourself then, or in us. What other choice do we have? We'll work a miracle and win, because we have to. The elf smiles broadly and nods to herself. Alright, I gotta go, Ember. So go. The elf watches with a radiant smile as you leave. Now we'll go speak with Nenio. Boy, I am pleased with you. I asked you to bring me to safety, and that's exactly what you did. Indeed, having a follower to aid me is the most efficient and frankly pleasing. With you on hand, I shall conquer new horizons, plumb the depth of knowledge hitherto unknown, and scale the dizzying heights of future discoveries. Nenio stopped to catch her breath. What I mean is, I'd like to express my deepest gratitude. I foresee immense potential in our future cooperation. What exactly do you mean by future cooperation? Hand in hand, we will unravel the greatest mysteries inaccessible to the minds of ordinary people. Just imagine it. I leading the way, proudly staring into the face of the gods themselves, and you, my loyal follower, walking behind me every step of the way, writing down my deepest thoughts admiring the profundity of my intellect. Let's see if we can derail her, shall we? If we hold hands, you won't be able to go in front of me and lead the way. You are the catalyst which, when it reacts to my intellect, will allow the latter to grasp the very essence of the universe itself. Why did I let myself get dragged into this? What? Who are you? Ninio stares at you for a while, bewilderment in her eyes, but then it's replaced by recognition. Oh yes, my new follower. So what am I supposed to do? Oh yes, I must provide some verbal encouragement for your as yet modest achievements, and try to induce you to strive for more of such encouragement. That is a principle that underpins any training. She frowns, but only for an instant. I see your modest nature was unsettled by the overabundance of my gratitude. I do apologise for putting you in an awkward position. I will never praise you again. You don't do things in moderation, do you? Unless I forget. But let's get back to the business at hand. Your new assignment will be to take me to the inconspicuous ruins that are located in an even more inconspicuous valley, lying between Canapres and Dresden, as soon as it's reasonably practicable. I'll mark the place on your map with a large red cross so you won't forget it. What's so special about these ruins? I'm glad you asked. This is my latest hypothesis, my secret project, and I won't pass up the opportunity to share it with you, because you are my most loyal follower, and you are worthy of possessing... Oh, shut up, Nenio. You're going to drive me insane. And also because you are the first person to ever ask me about it. That's more like it. Some time ago, I was walking around the border of the world wound. I met a strange person. He was wearing a frayed grey robe, and his face was hidden behind an odd white mask. Yeah, we saw one when we met you. Of course, I didn't miss the opportunity to ask him about the reason for his absurd appearance. You know what he said to me? He said, I am the answer, but what is the question? Then he walked off in the direction of the world wound. The next day, after I had already forgotten about the first encounter, I had another similar encounter. This time I met an elven woman. Judging by the pointed ears sticking out from behind the mask, I am the answer, but what is the question, she said, before taking off toward the world wound. And then I realised everything became clear to me. What became clear? I know a mystery when I see one. It being a mystery is not clarification. It being a mystery means you don't know what's going on. Consider this one of my myriad talents. Ennio rubs the tip of her nose. After all these guys weren't simply on their way to a costume party, were they? After examining several maps, I determined that they were all heading in one direction, to a place not far from Canapres. A place which is marked as nameless ruins even on ancient Sarkorian maps. That's where I need to go. Unravelling the secrets of the place will be my greatest discovery. It will secure my place in history, perhaps even in legend. Do you know where we have to go? You know how to find a beehive in a forest? You need to catch 2 bees and set them free in different locations of the forest, and remember the directions they fly in. Then you can take a map, draw lines showing the bees' routes. The place where the lines intersect will mark the location of the beehive. Fascinating, yes? By the way, forest bees do not make any honey, Ninio sighs. I used the beehive principle here too. For a couple of months I tracked the strange people in their masks, and observed the direction in which they were travelling. I collected the coordinates and mapped their estimated routes and made a discovery. All the routes intersected at a nameless ruins not far from Canapres. What do you expect to find there? I haven't the slightest idea. If I knew what was hidden there, I wouldn't be so eager to go. You know, you could just go by yourself. You don't really need me on this one. Nino's eyes seem to pop out of their sockets in surprise. Don't you see? This is a legendary secret place. No one knows what may happen to me after I lift the veil and uncover the workings of the universe. My mortal body may be unable to contain all that knowledge. Or perhaps I will ascend and become equal to the gods themselves. I need you to write down everything that happens and report my fate to the interested parties in Absalom. And don't forget to praise me as I deserve while you're there. You know, they could just be that. Just ruins. Why do you think they're more? You know, shrugs. Well, if they are, we'll write this experiment off as a failure and start another one. I don't know which experiment I'll try next. That's all I need to know. Well, now you know, so off you go. Ninio frowns. Did I just make a rhyme? Some people do it all the time. Perhaps I've discovered poetic talents in myself. Something like a poetic elf. No, Stop it, Yorkie. Let's conduct this experiment. Quickly, say any word and I'll try to find a rhyme for it. Science, that's what you're obsessed with. That's when thinkers make alliance. Intellectual defiance. Not best rhymes, don't you think? Well, this experiment was unsuccessful. We learned that I have no poetic talent at all in your size. But it's no reason to despair. Having a gift for poetry in addition to my inexhaustible intelligence would have been a little too much. Besides, I'm catastrophically busy and have no time to spend on writing poetry. I don't like it when you call me boy. My name's Yorkie. On the grand scale of world history, your name is irrelevant. No, it's Yorkie. I have no reason to remember it. You see, the brain of any given individual can contain only a limited amount of facts. I only expend my memory on things that are truly important. The laws of thermodynamics, divine esoterica, planar geography, things that will lead Golarion to a brighter future. Enio rubs her nose. Besides, what if I make a great discovery but I won't be able to remember it? Because my memory is full of outdated and useless information. What a nightmare that would be. What a loss for the whole of Golarion. Know your own name, right? Only so I know what to put as the officer's name in my encyclopedia. Are there other names worth remembering? There are, and to my deepest regret, there are too many of them. Enio heaves a sigh that would befit a grief-stricken old man. The names of gods and demigods, the names of rulers, conquerors, and other persons by some reason deemed great by the people of Golarion. They etch their names into history, and alas, every self-respecting educated person must know them. There are other names I'm happy to remember. Great scientists, some of them divine, others mortal. True keepers of knowledge and great experimentalists. Pioneers of knowledge, Irori, Nethys, Arilu Vorlish. Arilu Vorlish? She opened the world wound. She's a betrayer of humanity. Therefore the demons invaded Golarion. Oh yes, she was the greatest of the greatest. Just imagine she managed to open a rift from Golarion to the abyss. No one knew how. No one believed it possible. No one even dreamed of such a thing. And she just did it. It was the experiment of the century. You don't care about the result, just the experiment, is that it? Inia wiped a tear from her eye. Or the consequences of the result, I should say. I would have been so happy if I could have been in her place. Of course, some part of Golarian's population died as a result of their experiment, and the Crusaders are still wrestling with its consequences to this day. But the very essence of what Arilu managed to do was a breakthrough of cosmic significance, both figuratively and literally. Sooner or later, the world will be closed. People will return to Golarion. As for the victims of the ongoing war, they will be remembered as unfortunate but unavoidable sacrifices made at the altar of science. You are absolutely crazy. And you blinks at you perplexed. We were talking about something. Try telling me about yourself. An explorer, a pilgrim, yet to be recognised scientific luminary, future author of the Encyclopaedia Golarianica, and rector of all Absalom's universities at once. Let me just pause this. Water. YouTuber's blessing. Future rector, I should say. Neo speaks in one breath, as if reeling off a practice monologue. That information should be enough to satisfy your curiosity, because I doubt I will be able to tell you more than that. Where are you from? That information is irrelevant. I decided to forget it. How did he become a scientist? That information is irrelevant. I decided to forget it. You have a circle tattooed on your shoulder. What does it mean? Inyo casts a sidelong glance at her shoulder. Oh, that. I do not remember the circumstance of its creation, but I like it. I prefer to think of it as a zero, null, or nothing. A center point, an origin of coordinates. It reminds me of how much of an unknown world there is to explore. You don't remember how you got your tattoo? That information is irrelevant. I've decided to forget it. How can you just forget important piece of information? It is just one of my many talents. The secret is to stop thinking about the thing you want to forget. And the main thing is not to remember anything you don't need. To filter it. To get right to the essence. I'll teach you someday unless I forget. Do you remember your parents, your past, or is that relevant too? All of it is irrelevant on the grand scale of the universe. Grand scale of world history. I have no reason to remember such things. Forgetting your origin, knowing nothing about who you are, where you come from, terrible. Inio stays silent and gives you a puzzle look. What? What were we talking about? So what's this encyclopedia anyway? Encyclopedia Golarianica. It will be published in 100 volumes, 1,000 pages each, plus the author's appendices added by future co-authors and critical commentaries. Addenda indexation is still in question. Anyway, looks slightly embarrassed. I just like the number 100, but I'm not sure that I'll be able to keep within the established word limits. It will be a magisterial piece of scholarship that will become a part of the mandatory curriculum of every educational institution worth mentioning. In it, I intend to describe every object, item, event, fact, and personality that is present on or at least somehow related to Golarion. How, when you choose to forget everything you think is irrelevant? My calculations show that I have completed no more than 1% of this monumental book. Stop torturing you with questions for now. What we're talking about? I have to go. Then you produce a crumpled piece of paper from my sleeve and take some notes on it. This conversation lasted approximately 5 minutes. You lift a chin. By the way, did you know that is the exact same amount of time the Inquisitors of Canabres need to find a defendant guilty? Yeah, I am not surprised to hear that. But to shake off Inquisitors chasing you takes 5 times that long. An experiment proved that running while clad in heavy armour is not burdensome for them at all. So we got them. Right, onto the storyteller. The blind elf looks better than he did in your last encounter. His clothes are clean, and his pale face has some colour. The elf turns to you and listens closely. Is that you, my saviour? I recognise your footsteps. Determined footsteps befitting a determined person. Allow me to thank you again for saving me. Please accept this humble gift as a token of my appreciation. The elf hands you a small black ring. With 2 scarlet runes on it. Erebeth has explained why you were looking for me. I warned the authorities of Canabres that the local wardstone had been desecrated. They waved off my warning and paid for their inaction. I have examined many wardstones, but only the one guarding Canabres did I sense a flaw. A spot of corruption inside. A vulnerability the demons will surely use. They are able to spread the blight inside the wardstone, corrupting it and making it their weapon. It frightens me to think what it will be capable of. The wardstone must be destroyed. Who are you and why did they let you examine the wardstone? The elf smiles faintly. I am the storyteller, just an old elf. And a bit more. I am old even for an elf. I've seen many things and have been to many places. Not long ago, I witnessed the making of a young kingdom in the Stolen Lands. That would be Pathfinder Kingmaker. Led by a remarkable and promising individual. I believe that was Yorkie the Barbarian. My advice on the complicated matter of conquering these lands proved useful to that leader. This is not uncommon for me. Some seek my advice or services and I don't refuse. This is how I acquired my reputation as an old vagrant who never hurt anyone, stayed out of others' quarrels, but sometimes gave good advice. I had a few friends in Erosian who vouched for my integrity. That is why my humble request to be allowed to see the wardstone was granted. I visited all of them, but only found cause for alarm in Canabres. You wield some special magic power, some instinct. The storyteller chuckles. Yes, to a certain extent, but it is more of a gift. I can see the past, stories that have happened. I touch an object and shreds of its owner's memories are revealed to my mind. Their emotions, passions and tragedies. I see visions, and like I am them, and their stories happen to me. This is my power. I've been roaming the world gathering such stories for many thousands of years. One day I will gather them all. What blight is concealed in the wardstone? I don't have the answer to your question. To understand the nature of this blight, I need to understand how the wardstone was created, and it is hidden from me. I can only guess. Have you heard of the Red Morning Massacre? A dreadful morning remembered with fear, even by those not yet born at the time. A demoness called Minago invaded the city with a crowd of her followers, and started to do what demons do best, kill and desecrate. They say they covered the wardstone with pieces of dead bodies, splashed it with blood from top to bottom. Could such an abomination darken the radiance of the gift of Iomedae herself? The locals think it's impossible, but who knows? It was not the last attack. Many demon leaders brought their unholy forces here. Even the terrifying Baelor Karam today. Their attack were rebuffed. But they still reached their target. I think this is when the seed for corruption was planted in stone. It wouldn't have grown on its own, but Discari himself has now come to take advantage of the weakness. To open the abscess that has been festering for years, unnoticed by the people of Canabres. And when the demon lord struck the blow, the weakened stone gave in. Now it's in demon hands, and nothing is stopping them from spreading the blight throughout the entire stone, and from it to other stones. Not good, my friend, not good. Why did you travel to the wardstones? I tried to see their stories. The visions I had when I touched the wardstones were unclear. I saw hundreds, maybe thousands of different stories at the same time. They followed each other like flashes of lightning. It was impossible to separate them. I couldn't understand where one of them ended and the next began. I've heard you, storyteller. In that case, you must make every possible effort to destroy the corruption. Unfortunately, I don't know where to get an instrument powerful enough to banish it from the wardstone. As far as I know, there is nothing like it in Canabres, but the demons might have something. I heard the dying roar of Terendlev, the Silver Dragon, protector of the city. At the same time, I felt a wave of unfamiliar power sweep over me from head to toe. I would advise you to go to where Terendlev perished, and search there for something. I'm sorry I can't be more specific, but intuition and a strange sense of brightness tell me to point you there. Can I help you? Storyteller nods gratefully. I appreciate your offer. I have reason to believe that somewhere in Canabres there is a manuscript authored by an elf from Keonin who witnessed Earthfall. Storyteller's voice suddenly breaks and he stops for a moment. For personal reasons, I'd like to examine it. But no matter how hard I try, I have failed to find it. Even in the Blackwing Library, I only found mention that the manuscript exists, and it's held somewhere in the city. I assume it's stored at the Grey Garrison. They wouldn't let me into the archive when I visited. All those crusaders were nervous about the strange blind elf interest in their secrets. It's understandable. The crusade naturally made them a little paranoid. But now the Grey Garrison has fallen into enemy hands. I'd be grateful if I could see the manuscript. I want to know a little bit more about it. I don't see the point in asking either of those, going over old ground. I want to know more about you. The old elf permits himself a faint smile. I'm not surprised. A strange, peculiar-looking elf with unusual powers, who comes from afar and calls himself a collector of stories. Such things usually spark some interest. I will answer your questions. Who are you and where are you from? Before I would have said I was a blacksmith from Keonin, who lost his sight and then found his true calling in a new craft, that of a story collector. but I have lately begun to suspect that those words are no more than a lie. The old elf chuckled sadly. Quite the irony. I never thought I'd have cause to complain about my memory. It holds the stories of the entire world, but I've noticed more and more alarming signs lately. I encounter ancient stories and see myself in them. I don't remember those events, but stories cannot lie, so it means that my memory is lying. I intend to get to the bottom of it. I'm looking for proof that my visions are true, and the reason why my past has been hidden from me. You look ancient. I thought elves didn't get old. The blind man straightens his body back with dignity. As you can see, we do if we'd managed to live for many thousands of years. There may not be a single mortal in the world older than me. The storyteller sighs and continues with a sad smile. Anyway, it's not about time. It's about the stories I keep inside. There's so much suffering and sadness in the world. In my stories too. I've lived every one of them. I've drunk this bitter experience and accepted it into my heart. It's hard, the weight of all this suffering on my shoulders, but I won't trade my burden for any other. Where did you get your strange powers? Storyteller shrugs. I've always got along well with things. I used to be a blacksmith, that I know for sure. I've always felt the essence of things, their spirit. For as long as I can remember, I've always been able to find traces of memories and feelings left on things by their former owners. I don't know where this gift comes from. Maybe having taken my sight, the gods granted me another sense. Why did you come to the world wound? Searching for the truth about my real past has brought me here. I saw myself in those stories. In other stories, I saw... In them, I was called the elf in the tower. Now I'm looking for this tower. My tower, everywhere. I've been to many places. I've witnessed islands and deserts, but I haven't found it. There are very few uncharted territories on my map. The world wound is one of them. How do you collect stories? The same way a philanderer collects his conquests. The way a healer has a personal cemetery of patients he failed to save. The way every person, including you, has a box of secret, most precious experiences deep down in their soul that no one is allowed to touch. The world is not made of things or matter even. It's made of stories. They move from past to the future, piercing the world at the point of here and now. This hat, this wolf skin, gets a bit wearing sometimes. I think it might have fleas. They give meaning to everything that they are, and they are meaning. And everything else is just the setting required for stories to exist. There's nothing more real and alive than a story, and anything real and alive can die or be destroyed, distortion, forgotten. But as long as I carry these stories with me, they will not be lost. How do you know that you've said your memory is lying to you? This is why I don't often share my stories. By sharing one with you, I give you the right to tell it to others, to distort and embellish it inadvertently or advertently. How can I be sure you will keep its original purity? Stories travel from one person to another. They change, become distorted, turn into tall tales. This is why I keep my stories to myself. No more questions for you, storyteller. That's what you think. In fact, the world is full of amazing things. You still have a lot of questions. They just haven't bubbled to the surface of the consciousness yet. Well, I have to go anyway. I wish you interesting adventures. Right, time we headed out. Actually, you know what? We didn't sell our junk, did we? Let's head back in. Oh, it's that griffin. It's a human. Hello.
What in the name of the Green Mother's going on in this crazy town?
The tickling gives way with a thundering crash and the griffin lands on the floor of the tavern. In a flash, the creature transforms. A huge red-bearded man now stands before you. Folding his arms, he casts a proprietary eye over the tavern.
Who's in charge here? You there in the armor? Or is it you, tavern keeper? Or maybe it's you, old-timer. Oh, you, I remember. You were in that ravaged fortress with all the books.
There's a library.
You can explain all this to me. Well?
Ignoring the looks of astonishment, the man approached you and looked you dead in the eye. I look back at him and say nothing. Wait for him to spill something.
You're good.
You stare wordlessly at each other for a while. As the big man looks away.
All right. First things first. If by some chance you don't already know, they call me Ulbrig. Ulbrig Olesk. Chief of the Olesk clan. The one that gave Barzog's orcs a drubbing. What, never heard of them either? I'll be damned. Is this an illusion or something? One minute I'm laying myself down for a nap in a glade one summer's day, and the next I'm waking up among ruins and flames and monsters running riot. And no one knows me. But you see, my name's famous across Sarkorians. Where in the blazes am I? What's going on here?
Olesk, Barzog's orcs. These names mean nothing to you. One thing is clear, this man does not know that Sarkorians has fallen. Saying you fell asleep in Sarkorians and woke up here.
That's what I'm saying to you. I was plucked like a fish from a pond and carried off to God's nowhere.
In the library, there's a stone statue of a griffin. It came to life suddenly and flew off. Was that you?
A statue, you say? Strange. I don't remember being turned to stone. But if it looked like a griffin, then it must have been me. Take a gander at this. Don't worry, I won't scratch you. I'm no werewolf, I'm a shifter. My powers were granted to me by the sacred griffin Eivor, who protects our clan. I doubt you've got any other griffins flying about this city of yours.
So how come you couldn't come through the door?
The door would have been smarter, right enough. I was asleep too long, that must be it. My head's all muddled. I remember I was flying over the city looking for something, and when I found it, I just drove straight for it. Roads and roofs be damned. But what was I looking for? Drinks? Warriors? No, that's not it. Or maybe you. Was I looking for you?
You said you saw me in the library. When?
Now, let me think.
That's a weird one to make
Strange.
me ask.
The memory's in there, but it's all broken up in little pieces. So, I opened my eyes. I saw books and stones around me, and you were there. Then I was flying over the city. I had wings. And then I was in this here tavern, and then I saw you again.
It sounds like you've been through a lot, old-timer. Or, well, from Sarkorians, you're an old-timer, even if you don't look it.
All right, that's enough questions from you. Now answer some of mine. Where am I, and what's going on here?
Yeah, I don't... city's called Cannabis. I don't know how long you were asleep, friend, but... your clan? Sarkorians? Everything like that? Doesn't exist for hundreds of years.
Oh, I can't take it anymore. Oh, you got me there. You're telling me I fell asleep for 100 years, Sarkorians was swallowed by demons, and Canopus, that little fishing village, is now a fortress city? Oh, go on, pull the other one. Fine. If you don't want to tell me what's going on, don't. We're in a tavern, not in the middle of nowhere. There's plenty of folks around. I'm sure one of these people will tell me what's happening here. There's one thing I do know without asking. You've got a tough fight on your hands. I'm not one to wait on an invitation to a brawl, so if you're making ready to break some demon horns, I'm going with you.
You'd be welcome,
In the meantime,
friend.
I'm gonna have a taste of whatever ale they brew here.
You'd be welcome, friend. Definitely. Ah, there he is. We'll talk to him some other time, though. The huge albeit, okay. You owe me what you have. Right. don't need that. We don't need that. Don't see us needing that. Keep that. Hang on, what was that one? Right. Let's head out. I'm going to take him with us. I'm tired of Chameleon. Actually, before we do... You're out, Chameleon. Yorkie. Now, what do we know about you? Not you. You. Griffin Shapeshifter, level 4. Well ahead of us. But we're close to it. That's fine. Big and burly. Looks like he'll be decent. Market Square. Let's go to Silk and Thread first. We have enemies.
You know how I ended up here, but here I am.
Griffin aspect. This unlocks the aspect of the proud and fearless Griffin. A creature dedicated to protecting its territory. These regal beasts are revered as symbols of freedom and strength in many cultures. A Griffin Heart Shifter can take on the aspect of the Griffin and assume Griffin traits as a swift action. While in this form, she gives an aura that grants her and her allies 30 feet, within 30 feet, +2 bonus on saving throws against fear effects. She also gains +2 inherent bonus to her strength score. She can maintain this form for a number of minutes per day equal to 3 plus her shifter level. The duration does not need to be consecutive, but it must be spent in 1 minute increments. This level of Griffin Heart Shifter grows a pair of bird-like wings, immunity to ground-based effects. 10th level Griffin Heart Shifter bonus to strength, increase to +4 and aura, and now grants allies immunity to fear. 15th level Griffin Heart Shifter's bonus to strength increase to +6, +4 inherent bonus on the will saving throws. The 20th level the Griffin Heart Shifter's bonus to strength increases to +8, the inherent bonus on will saving throws increases to +6, and she becomes resistant to movement. Okay. And what's this one? At will, the shifter in her natural form can extend her claws as a swift action. Use the claws on each hand can be used as a primary natural attack, dealing 1d4 points of piercing and slashing damage, 1d3 if she's small. As the shifter gains levels, the power in her claws increases. At 3rd level, her claws bypass damage reduction to the cold iron, magic and silver. 7th level, the claw damage increases to 1d6, 11th to 1d8, 13th to 1d10, 17th, increase the critical multiplier becomes times 3, 19th, they bypass anything but adamantine. Let's see. Wild Shifter uses wild shape to assume her aspect's major form. Primary natural attacks remain the same. Gain the same benefits. Alright. Oh, and that's Griffin shape. Okay.
Move out.
More enemies? All good.
For the glory of the Oles clan!
Well, he didn't last long, did he?
Head on.
Got some dead duelists.
Is that a trap? It might be a trap.
I'm here.
Well, Chief,
Where else would I be?
you're a thiefling. You should be able to do this for us.
This is my kind of work.
I lead. You follow.
No, Ember, you should be behind. You can be up there. All the warriors up front, all the fighters up front.
Oh, they're repenting!
Oh, good.
Pay attention.
Alright, so we got problems over here. Get that taken down.
Pretty good, aren't I?
And the answer, but what is the question? One of those weirdos again that Ninio was going on about.
I must rest to fight another day.
Well, it seemed fairly powerful-ish. Let's get you some healing on, shall we? And me, actually. What have we picked up here? Unbending armor, 5 max dexterity, +1 studded leather, and swear damage resistance 3 piercing. Might as well have that. What else did we grab? Oh, we've got to give that. I'll take it. Actually, no. What does he do? Protection from fire, is it? Yeah, you can have that, because you seem to be in danger of fire. And that is Brigantes, so we'll sell that. We'll grab that stuff on the way out. Is burned the city that should never have fallen.
Fatigue befalls even the best.
He shows no mercy. Clouds may veil the stars, but nothing can hide the light in one's soul. And I see this light in you. We will stand shoulder to shoulder with you against evil. I hear the echo of a familiar voice. I feel the warmth of my kindred flame. We, my brother, we will help you. Alright. Like I got some kind of spell cast on me. Yaniel Biafab, the picture was presumably painted from life of summer 46. 1 year before Yaniel's heroic death. When the Battle of Dresden, more details in the museum. Okay. Eliandra, the legendary priestess of Pelura, watches the city of Iz crumble into freshly opened world ruins. More details in the museum. With the whole run fights a shadow demon. Here we stand and will not take a step back. The hand of the inheritor, held by Amadei, depicted where placing the first wardstone among the fortifications.
Onwards!
Among the cloudy colossi. In this picture, well, it's a picture. Oh, Tarragona and Lariel. Okay. More in the museum almanac. But wherever you are, keep quiet. There's a horde of enemies just beyond this door. Come over here. Be quiet and watch. This is the best part, is it? Get it together, idiots. No more looting. You're all sit tight here. The last bastion of the Crusader resistance. We'll flatten them and claim our victory. Into the abyss with all the Crusaders and the Defender's Heart. Kill us. The city is ours already. Now it's time to enjoy the spoils. Split up into groups quickly. I'll tell you where to go and what to bring back. Paxton, you idiot. Go back to the Baphomet. Must be missing his lapdog. Everyone here will be following my orders. I'm in charge. I won't submit to you, you dirty Descarite. Keep out of this, careless, or I'll curse all your extremities to wither and drop off. Everyone listen to me. What we're going to do is... Looking for a fight, Paxton? Well, you got one. Alright, weapons drawn. Looks like Paxton came out worst. Had enough, Worm. I'm in charge here. Gillis is the strongest. No looting. Only slaughter. We're going to sit here and wait for the command to attack. The Defender's Heart will fall.
I'd stay away from there right now. The tower is the main stronghold of the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth and their allies. Going up against that many of them would be suicide. I have a better idea.
Oh, yeah?
If the demons and their mortal agents were better organized, the Crusaders would have been crushed long before now. But they're always trying to spread in every direction. Right now, in every corner of the city, there are demons like Kylus who are trying to consolidate their forces to launch a joint attack on the Defender's heart.
Who are you?
Greybor. I'm a contract killer who's been hired to kill that demon that just walloped that other one. I've tracked him all the way here, and was planning to kill him when that crowd showed up, so I had to pull back.
So, there are people who only hunt demons. And demons think they are the superior predators.
Yeah, so not about time you learn that, isn't it?
They think so. Their overconfidence will be their downfall.
What do you suggest?
Don't even think about trying to take them all on single-handed.
Think we
You'll
can.
be mincemeat. Better to warn the Crusaders in the Defender's heart that the demons are planning to attack. And later, once the attackers have been taken care of, it'll be much easier to sweep through this tower and eliminate the Defenders left behind.
You think I can't handle this lot here and now? Yeah, that's then. By the time you finish, they'll all be dead. Dwarf arches his eyes skeptically, but doesn't comment on your bravado. Who hired you anyway?
I'm afraid that's confidential. As a professional, I'm obliged to keep my client's name a secret.
You know, we could attack them together.
I have no desire to die today. If you choose to go in there, I'll take advantage of the opportunity, of course. I'll kill Kylus and get back here as quickly as I can. I'm not going to fight any of the others. I don't work for free.
The city is burning. People are dying. And you're thinking about how to fill your pockets?
Basically.
Yes. So what? Listen here, girl. If you're so eager to save someone, go and do it. And don't waste your breath preaching at me.
That's city folk for you. No fellow feeling in them. No sense of kinship. No belief in doing your neighbor a good turn. They'd smother their own mother for a penny, and for tuppence they do themselves in as well.
I'm going now.
I hope you act wisely.
You're
Yeah.
so sad. Please take care.
What are you doing here, girl? This is no place for people like you. Go. Hide somewhere safe.
Yeah, what makes you think there is anywhere safe? We gotta climb up there. Who's got the best stats mods? Athletics -4, mobility 2. Athletics 1, mobility 1. You do. Figured it might be you.
Did the world just forget me?
Damn it! Alright then. Let's get this party started, I guess. Yeah, this kinda sucks. Come around, we need you around.
If I survive this, it'll make for a good story.
This is not the end.
Yeah, I think it might be. Let's try that again. We'll speed through. You need to not get caught, Ulbrig. Got this lot. Get ourselves buff. Go chat with him. Through here. You have to follow the same
I'd
tracks.
stay away if the demons and their great... They think so. Don't even think about trying to take them off. I'm afraid that's I haven't... Yes.
That's city folk.
I hope you had to...
You're so sad.
What are you doing?
Move out!
A bright future awaits us.
Where do you want me?
Something wrong?
Get that on you.
Yes?
That doing range, short range.
Yeah?
Get yourself. Actually, not. Get yourself that. Alright. Now, can you sneak? Made it. Well, Jake, you need to get up here and turn that trap off. Bully, you can't get down there because we never fight. Down. The dredge come in, that's okay. There. Dale are coming up. Coming across one of the two. You can lay that.
Pretty good, aren't I?
Down. Move on further. She's down. Stinking cloud. That's not good. Get him around. I think we can go real time at this point. He's hit. Paxton's down.
This will be the stuff of legend.
And that would seem to be that. But we have gained a level. Gaining a point here, we'll put that into con. Evil eye for the next. Sealer, Paladin level 4. Get some wisdom. Get some charisma, you know. Ability, yes. World knowledge and persuasion. Wendy. Dog level 3. I think with you, gonna be into strength, isn't it? All the way. More nature perception. Mobility's good anyway. More Jib. 1 point into a con. Ability, trickery, stealth, perception, magic device. And you can have create pit. I want you to have that definitely. And I think maybe bolt strength. I think blur. A lovely little witch here. Put that. Evil eye as well. Now web. See down this street there's difficult terrain. Spell is cast and every round after that creatures make a reflex save or fall prone. Creatures in the area take 1d6 points of cold damage each round. Oh, that could be useful.
All they took from me, I'll take back.
Level. All good. Also,
You're a good person. I like
you
you.
don't have anything left there. All right. What can we do? I think a blessing. You can have challenge evil. Actually, what about level 2 for me? Full strength. Bony fists. Bones of your target joints grow thick and sharp. +1 bonus natural armor, +2 bonus damage rolls with natural weapons. That's fine. Get a couple of restorations, I think. Right, get a couple of them. Good. Good, good, good.
Head on!
This. A pale and frightened half-elf looks at you warily. Face is twisted into a grimace like he just ate something slimy. Hey, who are you? Praise Baphomet. What are you doing here? Did Faxon send you? I heard a noise outside, but I was busy making a list of the relics. Something happened? Yeah, hands off the Crusader relics. Elf leaps back nimbly, pulling a sheaf of papers from a bag as he does so. No, I have valuable letters from Lord Xantha here. I must destroy them. The cultist balls the pages up in his fist and shoves them into his mouth. Then begins furiously chewing like a hamster. A moment later, the half-elf's eyes bulge and he opens his mouth. He's stuffed with masticated paper. He tries to cough, but nothing comes out. The veiled saboteur looks at you in desperation. His eyes are streaming, his face is growing paler by the second. And he falls to his knees. A strangled weed escapes from behind the wet wad of paper. His expressions veer from hilarious to grotesque as he signals for your help. Wendoag watches the half-elf suffering, snorts and bursts into brazen laughter. Enough. Die. Let's blow ends the half-elf's life. He's undoubtedly a far kinder death than suffocation. What book did we pick up, by the way? Jewels. Let's make money. The knack. Gallery exhibits among the cloudy colossi. In this picture, the two angels, Tygon and Lariel, are chasing and fighting a deadly Vrolikai demon in the air, several miles above the world wound. At this battle, a skull of the slain demon was displayed as an artifact in one of Dresden's inner towers. Sadly, the relic did not survive. And then we've got the other one, Farewell to the Sarkorians. Eleandra, legendary priestess to Pelura, watches the city abyss crumbling into the freshly opened world wound. A caravan of desolate refugees desperately seeking a salvation, and the Mendeb companies behind her. Not really giving me any useful information, I don't think. Where's that polite fellow got to? He was going to get a box of exhibits and then come back here. The old man, looking around absent-mindedly, shrinks away as you get closer. His head seems to shake uncontrollably, but his hands are surprisingly deft and assured as they level a magic wand at you. Stay back! What? Which are you, robber or demon? Hey, take it easy, Gramps. So that's the way, is it? You see horns and you think thief or demon? Quit scaring the old man, dummy. Have you seen your horns? They, how should I put this, don't exactly inspire trust in a city that's overrun with demons. I'm not going to hurt you. The old man goggles at you in terror, but he doesn't lower his wand. A rustling comes from somewhere behind him. Rats. The old man wheels around fearfully and peers in the direction the sound came from. The hand holding the wand gradually falls to his side. When he turns back to you, there is no fear in his expression, only vague confusion. I'm sorry, I was distracted. What were we talking about again? Who are you? The old man lowers his wand in confusion. I think his expression grows distraught and mournful. As though he is on the verge of crying. I forget. His gaze falls on a piece of cloth. Carefully stitched to his cloak, which reads Teldon, Tower of Estrod Museum Custodian. Looks like the old man's been given a job just to keep him busy. Teldon, the custodian here, my memory isn't what it once was. My faculties are failing me. But at one time, my mind could cut like a diamond. I was a battle mage, one of the few who survived the Battle of the Lost Chapel. But I'm an old man now. Sometimes I set down my keys one moment, but the next, I can't remember where I put them. This is what happens to sorcerers. This old fellow must have been swapped his memory for spells. What did marbles as the years went by? Bit judgmental there, Ulbrig. It didn't happen because of magic tricks, Ember says, sadly shaking her head. He went to war and saw lots of scary things, so scary that his memory ran away, so it would never show him the bad things ever again. You yourself are a mad little witch. That's why you're standing up for another of your sorcerer's kind. Yep, we do have a lot in common, she smiles blissfully. I've seen scary things too. Except word he lost was his memory, and I lost something else. I don't know what. Sounds like memory to me. Or we can go with your dad, your skin, your fingers. I would say your innocence, but somehow you've got that still. With a pleased smile, the old man pulls an empty set of keys from his pocket. Proudly shows them to you. Here they are, my keys, my little lovelies. I would never give you away to anyone. Remembering himself, the old man hastily stores the keys back in his pocket. What are the keys for? Oh, these keys are for everything. I can open every door into the Tower of Estrod with these. The museum custodian on duty must carry these keys at all time and never be parted from them. Not even for a second. And why is that? Because if the keys were left unattended, they would be pinched by thieves, wouldn't they? Thieves would strip the museum of all its treasures. What are you looking at me for? Woljif exclaims indignantly. All the reading is hitting my throat. Even though no one is looking at him. Give me the keys. Out of the question. Don't you understand? The museum holds things that could help the fight against demons. Biting his lip, the old man holds out the keys. You're right, I'm just an old duffer. Take whatever you want and go defend our city. Alright, old man, just go to the defender's heart. There's good people there, they'll look after you. The old custodian gives you a toothless smile. Really, is it safe there? How can I leave the museum? His gaze falls upon the trace of ransacking, and the old man becomes lost in thought. While trying to find an explanation for what he's seeing. You know what happened here, don't you? Things they were. Prowling about, wanted to rob the museum, but I stopped them. Those ne'er-do-wells came here, and I gave them what for? A dose of battle magic. They want me back. Don't you worry about me. I may be old, but I can still hold my own. Wentwag turns and in an undertone says, we could put him down, master. What if our enemies come here and he tells them about us? He's gone mad. I gotta go. Don't worry about that. No one's gonna listen to him. The old man in bewildered gaze follows you as you go.
I lead.
Right,
You
let's get in here.
Might be trap, might be treasure.
Just you,
My
Woljif.
tail is restless. My tail is twitching. Must be a sign. This is my kind of work. This is my kind of work. Pretty good, aren't I? Fine. This is my kind of work.
Hey, Ember, we got a bow for you. And tracking longbow, that'll do. You can have that. You can have that if you need it. You can have that, though I doubt you're ever going to need it. Right.
Onwards!
One more room. Looks like some magical armor there. Oh, unbending armor, that is. She'll be at 5 once she's rested. Now that. 6 armor, allowing 6 max dexterity. All right. Stairs we go, and step out we will.
Move out!
A translucent silhouette of a winged female warrior glows softly. Draws back. Who are you? Not who, what? Memories. This place was created as a cradle of memories and fantasy. There are things that belong to the city's heroes were kept here. People used to come to this place to remember those heroes, and myself and the others are living memories. You woke us, here we are. Lots of things seem silent, only until you listen to them. Like here, someone's memory has awoken to reveal itself to us. I thought it was only my kin who arranged stupid little displays like this. Heroes, relics, ridiculous. Who needs a scrap of metal left behind by people dumb enough to get themselves killed? Who wants to admire a collection of failures and defeats? Got your memories of who? The heroes the city wished to immortalize. Go, touch the memory and see how they remembered us. After all, this place was created so that our names would never disappear into the mists of history. I wish we could say that we have not dishonored your memory, but Canabra's lies in ruins, and you fearlessly battled the invaders, with no thought for yourself. You have earned no censure. We are proud of you. Right. In the olden days, mortalkind lost to the demons time after time. And now their descendants are continuing to lose on their losing streak. How could they not be proud of that? Why did you help me? A odd smile appears on the woman's face. I sensed something in you. If you are close to me. Like we stood shoulder to shoulder, once in the face of evil, and that we must do again. I sense light dwells in you. Very recently you were threatened by a powerful demon and a dark bloodlust tried to enslave your soul, but you opposed it and held fast. Continue to follow the path of light. Other righteous souls will aid and follow you. Very well. The power that gives us this semblance of life is running out. Soon we will once again be but memories, living only in words, pictures, and songs.
Head on!
And that is where we will end it for today. Join us next time when we head to the city, Market Square again, and see if we can do anything there. Very well.